What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. Man, Lim Toys kept me busy. Now we're taking a look at the clicker from The Last of Us video game version, not the show HBO show version. I don't know where you're gonna pre-order this. It's up to you. Do your research. I don't want to recommend any third party because it's always, I don't know, it's always dicey. They might be good now and then they're not good a year from now. So I try to, stay away from those kind of things if I could. But if you DM me on Instagram, I might recommend a store or two for you. There's some that are, pretty good. They're pretty good. You just don't know what's gonna happen, So, but as far as the figure, I have the clicker. I think that's the name from Toys Era back in the day. I think that's Toys Era or So Toys. I forgot. And that was pretty good at the time. The only clicker to that is, I would say, the head and the neck. And then otherwise, you don't see anything on the arms or the legs. It's covered up. He has shoes. But it was less than 100 at the time. And it was good enough. Now, Lim Toys took it to a whole new level where the clothing is tattered. You see the chest area. You see the infection all over. And I'm always down for a zombie / clicker. That's why I like Asmus Bitten series, because you could use these guys for Walking Dead or Last of Us, Resident Evil. If you are a zombie fan, that whole genre, you could use, even though this is a clicker is specific for The Last of Us, it still could kind of blend in when it comes to, Walking Dead, for example. It could be a walker that is severely damaged. So the possibilities here are endless. You can't have too much quote-unquote zombies. Again, I know it's a clicker, but I'm going to classify him as a zombie. You can't have too many. I love the blood effects on the mouth, dripping all the way down from his neck to his chest. I like the blood splatter. Again, it's a very simple base, but they put a lot of thought into it. It doesn't take too much space, yet it does have an identity, and I love it. I love the hardwood flooring with a blood splatter on it. I like the fact that you can attach a blood splatter effect on his face very easily. It changes the looks. Obviously he doesn't have a face. So you don't even need a different expression for this, but a simple attachment like that just kind of changes the complexion of the figure, and I love it. I'm all for it. And also, going back to my Joel video, if you're still watching this, because I was like, okay, is there like 3-4 head sculpts here? Because I see that I didn't read the thing. I was so excited. It's interchangeable teeth, so that's pretty brilliant on the part of Lim Toys here. This lineup is great. This entire thing from Lim Toys. Now the question is, how much is a good price for this? If the other figure, I believe that's $120 back in the day. The clicker from So Toys was $120. This being a fully covered, no seam, no seam on the forearm. On the elbows, even on the knees, the feet there's no ankle articulation from what I can tell. So he's balancing though, from these angles, it looks like he's balancing just fine. So I guess that's okay. The hair could use a little bit of work, but no one cares about the hair. It's in the back. You can barely see it. I would say a solid 180, hopefully less. If I would like to pay less as much as possible, but knowing Lim Toys, probably 180, maybe even 200. So that wouldn't be outrageous in my opinion. Look at Joel in the back; it just looks glorious with that watch. And this was a good morning when I woke up. This wasn't on my bingo card, but it's highly welcomed. Look at this; that is amazing. So like I said, you can't, because Asmus Bitten series, and that is their own, they're amazing. They're $150. So the price for that, like the baseball player Ramirez and Rodriguez, I believe their name is, they're around $150. So this should be around that ballpark, I would say, around 150. Asmus doesn't have a license for those, but it's their own creation. You know, the Bitten series. This also doesn't have a license. So, you know, they call it the Clicker, but it's not related to The Last of Us. It's a third-party company. Asmus mostly does have license for, notably, Lord of the Rings, you know, but other franchises as well. But this is good. I like the weathering on the shirt. I want more, I would say, non-scissored corners on those shirt and pants. Again, it's third party. You can't, and also for the price, you can't be too picky, because I know Asmus did it with their Nazgul, where it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Like it doesn't look natural. It looks like somebody just took scissors and just cut it randomly to make it look like it's weathered. It's not how it's supposed to be. You can't have like sharp corners. It was weathered by nature, not somebody taking scissors and cutting it. But I like the choice of materials as well. As far as the shirt, you got this kind of like thicker with some texture on it, again, so it doesn't look too flat. The jeans, it is dirty enough for me. I like it. Overall, I'm excited for all three. I can't wait 3 years from now so we can actually get it. We're talking about Lim Toys here, so I'm setting my expectations really low when it comes to release dates on these guys. So I'm conditioning myself for 3 years, but in the meantime, just wait patiently. You never know. Here's the downside to this as well, is that, are you gonna pre-order this? Because if it's gonna take them 2 years, Hot Toys might announce their own. Now, I don't care about, if Hot Toys, like, especially with Joel and Ellie, with how look they good, as I mentioned earlier, depending on the price. Because if their price Ellie and Joel, as of at the time of this recording, I don't know the price for these guys, so I'm assuming they're around under 200, maybe max 300. Now, if they're charging like 350, that'll be a different story, but we'll see how it goes. Let me know down in the comments down below, how much do you think this should cost? Because at the time of this video, I don't know yet. I would say around 180 would be a fair price, ideally lower, but I would love to hear your thoughts. If so, how many are you gonna get? Are you gonna get all three, just Joel, just Ellie, or waiting for Hot Toys? I'd love to have that conversation. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.